Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're completely shifting gears. Look, for a lot of us, sports are just a weekend hobby, right? Or maybe a thrilling thing we watch on TV. But what if you actually engineered that raw passion into a highly structured professional career? Today, we're opening up the pragmatic playbook. We're going to map out exactly what it takes to become a professional sportsperson in India. We're moving past the whole pipe dream phase and focusing strictly on the actual mechanics of making it a reality.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our 5-step roadmap. 1. Do you have the traits? 2. Your educational game plan. 3. Funding your sports career. 4. Expected income and environment. And finally, climbing the career ladder. Before we really get into the weeds here, let's just establish our baseline. What exactly makes someone a professional? Put simply, a sportsperson is someone who plays a game professionally and competes in state, national, or international events. So it's not just about being the absolute best player in your neighborhood. It's about formally competing on recognized stages.
Now, whether it's basketball, tennis, or soccer, the arena is vibrant, but man, is it incredibly demanding. Behind all that dynamic action you see on the field lies a really multifaceted professional profile. It requires intense dedication long before the whistle ever blows.
Section 1. Do you have the traits? The raw material?
Look, passion alone just isn't going to cut it. You need a very specific psychological and physical makeup. Obviously, being good at sports is step 1, but we need to look deeper. You really have to like working in teams. Collaboration is absolutely non-negotiable. Honestly, even in individual sports where you have a whole support crew behind you. You need to be physically fit and agile, meaning your body is literally your primary instrument and it has to be maintained. And finally, you've got to like working outdoors, because the vast majority of this career, it definitely does not happen in a climate-controlled office.
Moving on to Section 2, your educational game plan. Shaping the talent.
There is this really common misconception out there that athletes just don't need formal education. That is entirely false. Let's look at the traditional route. First up, you complete your 10+2 in literally any stream. Then, you pursue a bachelor's degree in physical education. That's known as a BP.Ed. And you can actually follow that up with a master's degree in physical education, or MP.Ed. These are legitimate degrees that provide the scientific, physiological, and tactical knowledge you need to excel and actually sustain a career in modern sports. It gives all that raw talent a really solid, educated foundation.
So how does this educational foundation build into your actual playing career? Well, you generally have two concurrent paths. On one side, you've got the college route. This is where you use university infrastructure to jump from college-level tournaments to district and then state. On the other side is the sports academy route. This means joining an academy and practicing intensively alongside your basic schooling and then transitioning into a BP.Ed or sports management degree later on. Ultimately, both merge into the exact same goal: formal degrees paired with rigorous tournament play.
Now, where you study matters just as much as what you study. The Department of Physical Education offers courses all across the country. You've got government institutes, for example, the Postgraduate Government College for Girls in Chandigarh, or the Institute for Excellence in Higher Education over in Bhopal. Then you have private institutes, like CMS College of Science and Commerce in Coimbatore. But here is your pragmatic checklist item for today. Always, and I mean always, check if the private institute is affiliated and accredited with the UGC before you apply. And hey, if you want to verify their standing, just check the NIRF rankings at nirfindia.org.
Section 3. Funding your sports career. Budgeting for success.
Notice the massive variance here. The approximate course fee for this educational pathway ranges anywhere from just 5,750 rupees all the way up to nearly 7 lakh rupees. These estimated numbers vary wildly between institutes, which highlights exactly why early financial planning is so absolutely crucial for aspiring athletes and their families.
Fortunately, you definitely don't have to shoulder this alone. There are two main pillars for funding your dream: scholarships and loans. For scholarships, your very first stop should be the National Scholarship Portal at scholarships.gov.in that aggregates all the central government, UGC, and AICTE schemes. Individual institutes also offer their own merit-based scholarships. Now, for loans, the Vijayalakshmi portal is an absolute game changer. It was developed under government guidance to help students track education loans easily. Plus, some states like West Bengal, Odisha, and Bihar actually offer specific student credit cards with super low interest rates. The resources are out there, you just have to know where to look.
Section 4. Expected income and environment. The daily reality.
What's really interesting here is the baseline expectation.
The approximate salary of a sportsperson in India typically ranges between 34,500 rupees and 60,000 rupees per month. But, huge asterisk here, this is highly indicative. It varies significantly from sport to sport. And obviously top-tier international athletes earn vastly different figures through big contracts and brand endorsements. But as a professional entry point, this is the pragmatic, everyday reality.
Beyond the actual paycheck, what does a random Tuesday look like? Or a Friday? Well, your work environment is going to be highly dynamic. You'll be working in teams, and travel is just a massive, inescapable part of the job profile. You can totally forget about a standard 9-to-5 schedule. Your work timings are completely irregular and dictated entirely by tournament schedules and the specific days your team competes. Also, importantly, this field is incredibly inclusive. There are robust opportunities for differently abled athletes to forge really incredible professional careers here as well.
Section 5. Climbing the career ladder. Reaching the top. A professional sports career isn't just some sudden jump to the big leagues. It's a ladder that you have to climb step by step. It usually starts at the district level. Success there pushes you up to the state level, and then eventually to the national level. Competing at these high tiers is what actually cements your status as a professional sportsman or athlete. But listen, the timeline doesn't just end when your physical playing days are over. The truly pragmatic professional transitions all that on-field experience into a secondary career as a sports coach or a manager. That's where you utilize all that BP Ed and MP Ed education we discussed earlier.
This breakdown right here really reinforces the highly structured nature of everything we've been talking about, from the specific institutes where you hone your craft all the way through that step-by-step growth path. It just proves that a sports career isn't only about these fleeting, viral moments of glory. It's a whole ecosystem you can navigate if you have a solid plan. So, let's look at a phenomenal real-world example of this in action.
Let's talk about Neetu David. She is a former cricketer for the national women's team and an absolute legendary left-arm spinner. She wasn't just a player, though. She was a genuine trailblazer. She became the first bowler for India to ever take 100 wickets in women's ODIs. That's incredible. But look at where she is now. She successfully navigated that exact career ladder we just outlined and is currently the chairperson of the BCCI Women's Selection Committee. Her journey, from a highly skilled athlete out on the pitch to a crucial management role, perfectly embodies this entire pragmatic playbook.
So, we've laid out the traits you need, the educational paths, the funding options, and the career ladder. The blueprint is literally right in front of you. The only thing left to ask is, are you ready to treat your passion for sports not just as a game, but as a structured professional playbook for life? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this gives you the clarity you need to take that next big step.